Hello, my name is Master Steve, and thank you for joining us. In this video, we'll be showing you pressure points in Chinese martial arts. Today in our culture, we have to contend with several different body types. As you can tell, they have changed over the 1,000 years. Thank God, or whatever you want to say. They have changed, so they're not the same as they were 1,000 years ago. So I'm going to show you 3 techniques that pretty much universally work with the body types that you'll see today in America or whatever country you're watching this video in. One of them is in the bottom of the jawline. The second one is towards the clavicle. And the third one is underneath the armpit. These 3, if utilized properly, if trained for a long period of time, will be effective in whatever situation you might find yourself in. Now, one of the examples of pressure points that I'm going to show you is right underneath the jawline. It's actually right underneath the wisdom tooth. Now, you want to be careful because as this is a pressure point, and you might think, well, this might just hurt a little bit. No, this actually hurts a lot. So when you come through here, you want to take your thumb and come right underneath the wisdom tooth and press upwards towards the top of their head, like so. Now be careful because your hand is right over their throat. You can actually just isolate the thumb and go in like this. Now you might have seen in some movies, they actually make a knuckle like this and will hit here, just like so. So this is one of the pressure points right over here, right underneath the jawline, right where the wisdom tooth is. You press right up. Now the second pressure point is with the clavicle. Now, as you can tell, the clavicle, you can't do clavicle ups. So the clavicle is always going to sort of, except for some of those huge guys that go to Venice Beach, you're always going to see a line appear here. A great pressure point in here is actually to dig into the clavicle like so. There's actually a bar right here that locks it in place. You come underneath the clavicle and you press against the bar like so and you squeeze in. Yes. That's as you can see from his face because he's so handsome, that is quite painful to do. Not easy to do, not always effective, but if you do have that choice, you do have that point there. You can also simply just come into the cavity and press downwards like so. You can tell that doesn't feel good, and he doesn't want to make me look good. So the third one comes in from here. The next pressure point is actually underneath the armpit. Now, I like it better from the other side, but just for the sake of effectiveness, or quickness, we're going to go right underneath the armpit here. Notice how I curve my hand around the pec, like so, and I come straight into the armpit. And it's really not this part right here who's doing the action. It's really this part in here that's doing the action. Have you noticed that it's almost exactly like the pressure point that goes into the wisdom tooth? There's more similarities than differences. And when you see that, that actually explains Kung Fu 101. There's more similarities than differences. That's why when you find people who say karate is better than Kung Fu, Taekwondo is better than karate, there are more similarities than differences. As you see this pressure point here, I'm going to give you an example of that. Go right into the armpit like this, cover around the bicep, and then squeeze up and down at the same time. That really is painful. And unless their pec is out here, you're pretty much going to get a good grip. Now, if you can't get a good grip, then you just come around the shoulder like so, and you press up. That's even worse. That's even worse. Those are 3 examples of pressure points. They're pretty much effective on almost about anybody. Once again, my name is Master Steve, and thank you for joining us for examples and pressure points in Chinese martial arts.